So I didn't make it to this river one time last year, which was disappointing. Welcome to Racing Alaska. Today we're heading out to the Kenai Peninsula to do some salmon fishing. All right, so we've put in to the lake, and we have to row from the lake to the river, which is probably 15 minutes or half an hour. It's not a bad trip. And then once we get into the river, we'll start looking for a place to pull up to fish. Once we fish for a little bit, we'll go on down to a river bar. My plan is to spend the night on that river bar. There's only really two places in this upper river that you could put a tent. So I didn't make it to this river one time last year, which was disappointing. This used to always be an annual trip for me. I would come down, spend the night at least once at this location we're going to go today. And so I can fish and get today's limit, and then I can turn around and get tomorrow's limit. But probably bigger than that is just the ambiance of staying on the river and just the experience. And so I've really missed it. All right, we're just right now getting at the end of the lake. You can hear the river here. So we'll get turned around. Now it's just a matter of maneuvering through the river. We'll have to row a little bit, but now it's just a matter of adjusting our course in the river here. The fishing might be fantastic, or the fishing might not be very good at all. This is my first sport fishing trip of the season, so I'm super excited about it, and I'm excited that it's this trip right here. So one of the things I want to be looking for, even this early, we've just gotten into the river, but I'm going to start looking for a place to pull up to fish, because I know the further we get down, the crazier it's going to get for people fishing. There's a lot of boats on the river today. And so primarily what I'm looking for is a place that I can pull my boat up on the shore. We're going to fish for sockeye from the bank, but I want to be on a main shore, not an island. Fish just surfaced right there, right by that island after I said not an island, right? And I want a place that will carry my tackle. I'm going to go over here and just take a little peek at this spot here. I see two spots right now that to me feel like they have a little potential. The first one I'm going to rule out because I don't think that there's any current in it. But there's a spot right here that maybe has potential. That's a dandy sockeye right there. Well, there we go. first sport caught fish of the season. As soon as I started fishing that spot, I felt like, man, this is a nice spot. That's not a bad sockeye for this river. Well, now that I feel like it's going to be productive, I'm going to get a little bit of tackle out, get some sunscreen on, kind of really get more prepared for success here. Well, I got 5 so far. Stop and have a little snack. On my way through Soldotna, I stopped at this place that sells subs and got a sandwich. When I went in, it's been years and years and years since I ate that. The lady said, "What's your favorite?" And I told her, I said, "It's been a long time since I've been in here. What do you think is the best sandwich you have?" She goes, "Well, they're all good." I go, "Well, which one's the best one?" "Oh, they're all good." So I said, "Well, if Denzel Washington walked in the door right now and said, 'Give me your best sandwich,' which one would you give him?" She goes, "Oh, definitely the Philly cheesesteak with double meat." It's like, well, I'll have what Denzel's having then. And so that's what they made me. And then after they started cooking it, she comes back and she goes, "Well, what kind of cheese do you want on that?" I said, "I don't know. What would Denzel have on it?" She goes, "Well, he'd have pepper jack." "Well, I'm having what Denzel's having." And so they made it, they gave it to me, and I tasted it, ate a little bit of it. And she goes, "Hey, Denzel, what do you think over there?" Well, hey, that's a pretty good sandwich. Another pretty dandy fish.
At the beginning of the salmon run, the limits are generally 3 fish a day. Once enough fish make it into escapement, or where they're going to spawn, then they increase the limits to 6 fish a day. I caught a full limit of fish, and so it was time to process all my fish and get ready for a nice quiet evening on the river. I commonly use the front of my boat like this to process my fish because it's easy and it's comfortable. It beats having to bend over on the riverbank to do this task, but it does make a bit of a mess. However, it doesn't take long to clean up. With the fish cleaned and put on ice, it's time to head down the river to a place where I'm going to spend the night. just enough room along this bank to put up a tent safely. We're out of the tidal zone, and there's no reason the river should come up as high as the tent is, so it should be safe and a nice peaceful place to spend the night and listen to the river. The best fishing of the second day was before the sun came up, when it was really too dark to film. I tried to be efficient with my time and fish while I was making breakfast and coffee. Fishing slowed down considerably, and so I started packing up camp while I was still finishing and with breakfast. With everything safely packed away in the boat, I thought I would clean the morning's catch and get back on the river. While I was doing this, several boats had pulled up and started fishing around me. I always feel inclined to tell you this. In Alaska, when you fillet a fish, you should throw the carcass back in the river. That is food for the next generation of salmon. Long before there were many people in Alaska, all those fish came up the rivers, died, and their carcasses were left in the river for the next generation of salmon. And so we should work to do the same. Well, with that little chore done, it's time to get on the river and head for the boat ramp. When you're floating and your boat is powered by yourself, if you miss a boat ramp, it's going to be a long day.
Well, thanks for coming along today.